Hi, this is Imogene at Eggwell Farm. These chicks was born March 6th, 7th, and that's about 2 or 3 days ago. They're 2 or 3 days old. Just want to give you some tips on how to care for your little newborn chicks. First thing and most important of all is the warmth. They are basically born naked. The little fuzz you see all over them is just that. It's just fuzz. When they're mature enough where that they receive their real feathers, their feathers will keep them warm because it forms like an insulation around them, like a little bubble. They puff it up and the air circulates inside the feathers, and it's like a little heater going from their own body heat, but their feathers holds it inside. And as you can see, all they are right now is just little puff balls. These are not feathers. These are just like hair, and it will not keep them warm. So we recommend something that keeps them at 90 degrees, even a little warmer on day one. If you have them coming straight from the incubator, they need to be about 95, and then about 2 or 3 days later take it down a few degrees, and then get it all the way down by week 1 to 90 degrees. This is what we do. And to do this, you need to have like a little thermostat inside. We use the infrared heat lamps because the red light, it prevents pecking. They won't peck each other so much. The real light bulbs, the 100-watt light bulbs, will cause them to peck at each other, and that can start a bad habit with chicks, and you don't want that to start. Also, the thing you need to do is you see what a problem we have right here? This is clean water. It's just set down about 2 hours ago, and this just proves a point. You got to have this water sitting up on something that raises it up a little bit higher, not too high. You still want them to be able to reach it, but you want it up out of the shavings. And also, if you got it sitting up on something a little higher, that will stop chicks from drowning. I have had the unpleasant experience of finding drowned chicks in my water, and I can tell you that's something you don't want to see. I mean, I love my chicks. And also, to have plenty of food. Right now I got the food trays around the outside walls where that they can go away from the light, from the heat, over to the food, and then back under the heat as well, because sometimes some chicks are hot and they want to get out, and sometimes they want to get in the heat. But the way that the food's situated on the outside edge of the brooder gives them the freedom to go eat and come back and get warm. And it's very important, the food, so important. And when they're newborns, the way I suggest is we cover the whole floor with paper towel. We sprinkle feed all over the floor, and we just set them right there in it. And because they're newborns and they don't have a mother, you have to kind of peck on the floor, peck with the feed, and maybe pick up a few grains and drop it in front of them and get them started eating. You got to be the mommy. You got to get them started eating. And sometimes they'll just start drinking on their own. But most of the time, you have to take them over there, dip their little beak in it, and be very careful not to take it up on their nose hole, because you can drown them. And just let them have a little drink, show them where it's at, and eventually they'll catch on. But it's very important, extremely important, that they know how to eat and drink and stay warm. And then after about a week old, you can start dropping the temperature. The temperature should go down 5 degrees on a weekly basis. It'll after week 1 you'll be on 90 degrees. Week 2 you'll be on 85, and then week 3 is 80, and you just keep going down until you get about 70 degrees. But don't let them get any colder than that. If it's like in the middle of the winter time or something, you gotta use your own judgment. Watch how they act. See, these chicks are running all over the place because they're warm. Now, when they get cold, what you're going to see is like a bunch of them huddled all together, kind of like they are doing right there. But when they're too hot, they'll be plastered against the walls trying to get away from the heat. So you got to use your own common sense and watch how they act. If they seem like they're too hot, give them a little less heat. And if they seem like they're too cold, add more heat. But the heat and the feed and the water are the main things. Pasty butt is where that they have poop that gets dried up on their little butts, and it causes a blockage, and that blockage will not allow them to have a bowel movement the way they're supposed to, and that can eventually cause them to die. Okay, so you don't want that to happen. And if that starts happening, and you've seen it happening quite a bit, the next thing to do, I would suggest, is to get what they call, it's a name brand called Save a Chick. They have probiotics. They also have electrolytes and vitamins, but when they're having a lot of pasty butt, what you need to do is to get some Save a Chick probiotics, add it to your water. It has the directions on the back, and it comes in little packets. It'll tell you exactly how much per gallon, and it will help them quite a bit. So I think that's about all I can think of for right now. And if you have any questions, you can post it on my Facebook page. I'll be glad to answer anything I can. This is Imogene from Eggwell Farm. Thank you.